Where are your kids? Harry and Meghan's dilemma as Rebel Wilson asks about Sussex's non-existent children. Can Meghan's cunning ways be covered up? Join me in digging a little deeper in this video. Once again, welcome to the Crown Craze YouTube channel. Recently, the Australian comedian, film actress, and lawyer, interestingly enough, Rebel Wilson admitted that Meghan wasn't naturally warm when she introduced her mother to Harry and Meghan on late-night TV. Rebel said that Harry was pretty easy to talk with, they had a mutual polo friend. But when her mother said to Meghan, "Where are your kids?" things got really cool really quickly. So Meghan gave her apparently quite a look. I mean, I'm sure the poor woman got the Meryl death stare is what really happened. But still, it doesn't matter to her. People like Rebel Wilson are not worried about people like Meghan Markle and her poodle. What I find weird about this whole story though is when asked about the children, Meghan and Harry give these strange and vague answers. Now, in my experience, most parents of young children are proud of those kids, even if those kids haven't done anything remarkable. And they will tell you all about their little accomplishments, all the wonderful things their little darlings did. And if you're lucky, it's just talking. But with today's smartphones, you will often get treated to a whole slideshow of pictures you probably never wanted to see. Honestly, most people talk about their pets more than Harry and Meghan talk about their kids. I do understand a need for privacy of appearance. But what's it going to hurt telling about developmental milestones, for example, or even just silly things the children did? We don't know anything about these kids. We don't know when or if they were even born. We don't know if Meghan Markle gave birth to them or if they bought them from some surrogates. We don't know what they look like. We don't know if they're even there. They're just unreal and not talked about, and nobody else has any info either. I mean, the media can't say anything about the kids. They don't have any information, and that's why we don't see their names mentioned very often. So, the British press certainly doesn't mention Harry and Meghan's kids very often. An insider has explained that mentioning these children would seem to signify the acceptance that these children are indeed Prince Harry's offspring. Now, obviously, there is a thought that they came from surrogates, and DNA samples would certainly settle the issue once and for all. You would think that Harry and Meghan would have jumped at that opportunity, but so far, they just avoid the subject altogether. So the seeds of doubt are spreading understandably quickly. Most POPLE remain unconvinced of the existence of these kids. Now, maybe it's just a big culture clash, but they are mystified by the secrecy surrounding these kids. George, Charlotte, and Louis are the children of the future king, my goodness. But they live pretty normal lives. They go to school, they have playdates with their friends, they go to other kids' birthday parties, they go out shopping with their mother, etc. But the Monteo invisible children, if they're even real, they're never seen out and about. They're never photographed. They're never even talked about by their parents, who are nobodies in the grand scheme of things. So what gives? What is the explanation for this? It's just bizarre. I mean, if there really are kids, then it's a sad life they live because they're leading a why unnatural life being hidden away like that? And if there were kids, I'm sure the paparazzi, which supposedly bothers Harry and Meghan all the time, surely they could have snapped some photos. I mean, should we even get into the subject of Meghan Markle and her lies? The fake pregnancies, the criminal fraud and treason to have put non-royal rented children on the line of succession. And she even sure that they got titles that I'm guessing they're not entitled to. And what about the disappearance of royal jewelry and all the money that is now being investigated? There are so many things even somebody like Tom Bower would have to make at least 3 books to just write all about Meghan's nasty lies, her mischief, the stealing of stuff. I mean, Meghan is an evil person. So apparently, the line that Meghan crossed was when the nanny caught her sneakily taking photos in Charlotte's room. At the time, Charlotte was only 2 or 3 years old, and Charlotte was sleeping. Now, apparently, Meghan Markle had planned to sell those photos to somebody on the internet for a few hundred. Now, I'm guessing the royal family probably alerted the MI6, who then ruined Meghan's scheme. And it is true that Meghan accidentally lost a few jewels. But more importantly, Meghan was a vicious bully toward Charlotte with her former friend, Jessica, and Jessica Moroni's daughter too, before Meghan's wedding. And it is Meghan's repeated abuse and vitriol towards Catherine and little Charlotte too that caused Catherine to break down in tears. These are just a few examples of Meghan Markle's horrible behavior that forced the Queen to send her away. Meghan is the one who makes other people cry. Every employee in the UK, US, South Africa, Australia, Canada, and so many other countries too have said that. Meghan is both physically and mentally abusive. She's dishonest, and she just gets off on bullying people. Meghan has spent her entire life, beginning in childhood and all throughout adulthood, belittling, cheating, abusing, gaslighting, humiliating other people, whether it be friends or family members, co-workers, employees. I mean, she has damaged so many people, and many of those people are still in therapy. They're having to work through the horrible abuse that they suffered at the hands of Meghan Markle. And as for Harry, well, he's not much better. I mean, Meghan Markle really encouraged Harry's psychotic rage, the jealousy, the hatred of the royal family. It looks now like Harry is just as bad as she is. But interestingly enough, it is the royal family who quietly settled the many seven-figure lawsuits that were brought by Harry's sadistic habit of beating his sexual partners. Apparently, one was left permanently disabled. He has also been abusive towards animals, the poor pregnant pony, you remember that one. And he's emotionally abused disabled people. He detailed it in Spare, and he showed it in videos on public sites. And what about all the slander? What about his lies and projecting his and Meghan's evil behavior on the royal family? Harry and Meghan's unhinged and sick behavior really highlights and contrasts with the honor, sincerity, and dignity of the royal family, who managed, despite all the attacks coming from Harry and Meghan, to carry on with their duties to help the public. Meghan has a few years, and Harry had an entire lifetime to learn from a master, the late Queen Elizabeth, how to be a true humanitarian, how to really help people.